I want to make sure that I'm being transparent and honest with the Assembly. If you refer it to Synod Council, it may not make it in time to church-wide assembly. So, do you feel comfortable voting on Pastor Jones's motion with that information in your hand? Yes? Oh, good question. Who asked that question? Good job, Kathy. Was there a second to Pastor Jones's motion? Oh, see. All right, Alan. So the motion on the floor is to refer. We're going to go to a vote. A green card refers to Synod Council, where it may or may not be taken up in time for the church-wide assembly. A red card means, no, we're going to finish this here and now. And a white card means, you know. All right? All in favor of referring, green cards. I see you holding up a red card, but you mean green. I think that that's right. Okay. And if you don't, yell. Red cards. White cards. We're back on the floor. The motion is defeated. So we've heard a positive voice. Is there anyone who wishes to speak against? I have a white card at microphone 2. Let's see how microphone 2 is doing for us.
Test.
You got it.
All right. Paul Christensen, First English Lutheran Church, Baltimore. The memorial doesn't specify what the text of recommendation 1 is. And I do not know what that text is. And so I would have a hard time voting on this without knowing what that text is.
That is a very fair point.
Bishop.
And I've got good advice and counsel coming.
You'll find the text of recommendation 1 on the third whereas of the memorial.
Yeah. See, was that like instantaneous answer to your question? So I'm looking for someone speaking against. Are you a white card or a red card? What card are you holding? You're a red card. Then you get to go first, microphone 2. Chair recognizes Pastor Litton.
Pastor Chris Litton, St. John's Lutheran Church in Westminster. The only reason I'm speaking out against this is because, as far as I know, this reforming of the Lutheran Church has been in the works for 18 months as far as this commission came together. It has taken decades to form the ELCA. And so I think trying to change something within such a small amount of period of time that it could be a problem, because I'm already seeing drafts that are being sent throughout my congregation as to potentially leave the ELCA. And it's a struggle that I'm dealing with every day. And so the bottom line is I feel I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. Whatever I say, I'm going to be seen on one side or the other. I'm going to be ostracized on one side or the other. So therefore, I would agree to refer it back to Synod Council for more definition.
Thank you, Pastor Litton. Chair recognizes microphone 1, Pastor File.
My name is Pastor Kathy File. I'm with Mount Joy in Gettysburg and St. Paul's in Harney. Last Sunday, the Washington Post had a full-page headline. 5 years after George Floyd's murder, racial reckoning has stalled. That happens every time issues of race are moved forward. The white community pushes back fairly soon afterwards. Some of the things that are stalled are that CEOs pledged billions of dollars to work on issues of racial equity. And before, when George Floyd was murdered, people believed Black Lives Matter was important, and also that, this resolution is excellent because it does two things that we have not done before, and that is the recommendation for mutual accountability to the strategy toward authentic diversity, which was come up by ADLA, and from whom we need to take direction. Diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility audit also is what we would be accountable to. And so I think this is important because our church has brought up racism many years. I would say that with Pastor Carla, there's been the most change, but there has not been change. We are not an anti-racist institution yet.
Lyle, Pastor Carla, are you rising with a question?
A point of clarification, Bishop.
I'm going to hear your point with great love. Go ahead.
I appreciate
Chair recognizes microphone 1.
Pastor Carla Christopher, Delaware-Maryland Synod Office, and co-chair of the Commission for a Renewed Lutheran Church. I wanted to uplift something that I believe could possibly be a unifying and clarifying point that has not come up. The core aspect of Part 1, Recommendation 1 of the Commission's report and recommendations is naming that 18 months wasn't enough time to be able to redesign the entire Constitution and name the ways that our polity may need to shift and change to allow for decisions that are being faithfully made that recognize the 3 different expressions of church, that preserve the sovereignty of our congregations, uplift the cooperation through the synods, and that also allow the church-wide organization to give us a real voice on the national level. Because we did not have that time, we put in Recommendation 1 the ability to call for a reconstituting convention that will actually bring together a group of constitutional experts with the legal and the historical knowledge and the understanding of what it would actually take to make those changes to our Constitution. And so Churchwide said, well, we've got enough things in our Constitution right now. We could make those changes ourselves. And we said, just in case, we really want the ability, we understand that's intended well, but we want the ability for the people to say, we at least preserve the right for a reconstituting convention to be called. That's what we are asking you to vote to go to church-wide assembly, is to preserve the language that will let people call for, that will allow people to call for a reconstituting convention if things are not, which is where we would have a special meeting where we would bring together people for doing that work.
I'm sorry, Pastor Carla, your time is up.
I understand.
All right. We are now up against time. Our rules of procedure, are you holding a white card or no, a green card? So our rules of procedure say that we move immediately to a vote on the main memorial at hand. Do you understand that? Are you ready to vote? So a green card means we are sending this memorial to the church-wide assembly for its consideration. A red card means no, you don't wish to send the memorial forward, and a white card means that you abstain. All right? All in favor, green cards. Honest to goodness, I really am counting. I know some of you don't believe it. That's why Ann is here, to make sure that I'm not doing anything funny. Are you waving him in the back? No, okay. Fingers hurting. Opposed, red cards. That was yes, no. Abstentions, white cards. I think you mean a white card in the front row, right, Linda? Thank you. 10. The resolution will move forward to the church-wide assembly. Dear ones, we have come against our time. The worship committee is pacing. I heard a few Lutheran stomachs growling. I'm going to call on Mrs. Chinya for some announcements, and as she comes forward, I'm going to share. Pastor Mark and Mrs. Wagner, would you come back out for a minute? This is not the Reference and Council Committee. These are the chair people, and they have done yeoman's work. Would you help me thank them for their work? The remaining legislation that is before you is, by our procedure, referred to the Synod Council for their action and conversation. And as we move into announcements, we will then move into worship very quickly. The bulletins are going to start to be passed out. The displays are gone, so if you think this was your last chance of getting candy, you are right. A reminder that if you can help the folks here at Grace and our Synod with moving chairs, if you would meet at the front after worship. If you can help load the truck, meet at the Synod office and ask for Cindy Redmond, which is in the library outside of this room. But let's hear these announcements and then prepare for worship.
Short announcement. Whoa. Started with my outside voice. Two very short announcements. First of all, your name tags. We love you, but you may keep your name. So if you take the name card out, and please leave the rest of this in their boxes outside in the registration area. Second, please take time to fill out the assembly evaluation, which will be emailed to each of you, each participant. As the bishop told you when we began this adventure yesterday, your feedback is very important as we plan for next year's convention. Thank you all for your cooperation.
Dear ones, worship will start in 10 minutes. We are in recess until worship.